Okay. Right. Okay. At Monroe, he wants to see. Yes. Yeah, I didn't know he was interested in Monroe too. Oh, okay. Okay. Autumn wants to know if she can show Monroe at 4:45. What time is Linda's? Oh, she's want me to tell you that Linda has first dibs and she's waiting on her to see if she's making an offer. Um, yes, you can show it at 4:45. But Linda's a cash offer and would close within 3 weeks, which is what they need. She just wants you to know that before you show it, I guess. But you can absolutely show it. Okay. Can I ask her one thing before I give it to you? Okay, so what about that dude? Oh, wow. Okay. Okay. Pulled right off in here.
Did it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm freezing. That's so funny.
So is this info good, bad, boring?
Good. Okay. Good, because I'm hearing about stuff I've never heard of.
Yeah. Sounding good for you, bad for you, boring for you?
It's all good.
Um, but hey, Autumn wants to talk to you. Here you go.
Okay, so I kind of have a stupid question. Okay, so if you think Linda's really, really interested in it and gonna make an offer on it, okay, because that's why I was kind of wondering why we were gonna take the time to do pictures in Matterport and stuff today, if she was gonna do it. Get it?
That was quick.
When it's fast.
Holy moly.
10:30. It's hard.
I mean, I'm starving, but
It's like she teleported.
I just have to work it out.
Got over there and back in 3 minutes.
I only got 4 nuggets, but I'll share with you.
Have leftover munchkins.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
That
So-
banana did not do it.
No. Usually if I do something like that, I get under your.
See, that's why I don't ever eat breakfast because I always get hungrier. I did.
It was good.
Yeah.
It was good.
and breakfast.
Yes.
Hello?
Where'd you get a name? Right.
Yeah, I'm really going. Did you get my voicemail while I called?
Go to.
So we can fucking, you get your phone number. It's not.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm
Okay.
The agents or, well,
Okay,
the-
why can't
Well, good, not in the agent store, they don't have.
Oh, we
all
were
the
looking for a
info
Saturday.
and
What about,
logos
what
and
about the
everything,
Saturday before?
but-
But
Yeah.
the stores, Rachel. You go to.
Oh.
KW Connect.
Oh, I'm actually looking for a Saturday. I'm sorry.
Online.
Yeah.
How do you get to that
Yes, okay.
store other than?
The website.
Okay, like.
I don't know, I have it on my, I don't know, I have no idea. Zero. 519.
If she's gonna do it, and she's like, yeah,
Zero.
You've got the fourth, the 18th available.
It is, doesn't it sound like business academy? Yeah, that's right.
I'll enter for that, potluck we were talking about.
Yeah.
The 11th is not available at Calvert City.
And she said to
Country
call him
Club.
at 2 o'clock tonight.
What about the fourth or the 18th?
I don't know. The 11th, no idea.
I'm gonna say I'm gonna try the 18th, but we're gonna get our group and I'll double check. That's up there.
Like, got 2 name tags
All right.
and it's hoping that it would, I don't know how much it was. There
Cause
wasn't
I'd like,
at
to,
all.
you know, I think that's a nice, like, icebreaker in itself.
They got actors over there? Of course, I couldn't work.
Okay, y'all,
No, it's not.
oh, no, I'll swing by later this afternoon. How long are you there?
Generic Keller Williams logo and your name.
The popular cards. Business cards. Online. And they came back with Murray's address.
Oh, really?
Oh, I'll swing by tomorrow. That's fine.
So.
No, I know the Lord and ladies. will go
Okay.
this week,
Shipping was like 25, and so, I mean, it's,
and overrating too.
so 2 tags for us was $40.
Okay.
And it's really easy to customize.
Well, I'll be working in Murray tomorrow. Yeah, my afternoon would be better for me.
Ancient store.
But I'll reach out. Is this your cell or is this, Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, yeah, I'll catch you sometime this week. I'll call in advance.
We also-
Okay, that sounds good, man. I appreciate you.
Okay, I kind of,
All
this is
Bye-bye.
Oh,
agent store job.
yeah,
Okay.
and our business cards, I thought were not great.
Okay.
Yeah, so we got the ones that were kind of black, and when the machine cut them, it kind of like made the edges a little dark. No, it's like it affected the color of the card, and you see little white specks along. I'm OCD, and so good stuff like that.
Right, and it
But they
was,
weren't the best, but they were super cheap. So I figured just get started. It'll work. Actually, let me show you.
They were what, cheap or free?
The same. They were cheap.
I see what you're saying though.
Yeah, it's like, see, it's like the
Already
edge
looks a
is,
little
into-
more.
yeah, it looks worn already. But this is the front. We put a QR code in this for our website. And then this,
Maybe they
we're a
wanted
team,
to
so we
look
just
at
did a combo card.
Okay.
Tanya, you ready?
Yep, I'm ready.
All right. So we're gonna zoom through these. How about that? They're good.
Wait,
Sorry.
pull in. Or pull out and pull in.
So then which one of these would I pick from the Murray one?
There is, you can start.
I knew what I wanted.
That's the- That's,
That's what- Are we getting?
Cold?
Yes, it is freezing.
Yeah, they're freezing.
Hey, I wouldn't go.
I'll go.
Can I like?
We're not getting lunch today, but I secured a few banks to bring some lunch over. F&B is gonna bring it a couple of times.
But we're not today.
Not today. I would have told you that before. We're not here tomorrow, so.
Bring the stuff.
So yeah, more than likely Wednesday we'll have some lunch after.
Then you have failed us.
I did not. I did not because I didn't put it on Ben to find the sponsors. A 20 pack, that would have been good. All right, so in session 1, we discussed a little bit of the value proposition of being at Keller Williams. So today, in the second session, we're going to be, the second session of the real estate expert of choice. Embrace your job. We will cover the key priorities a real estate agent has and discuss what it takes to become a great agent. Bless you.
Thank you.
So, of course, this is sort of the agenda today to apply the 6 core competencies of a business, which we'll discuss here shortly. Recognize your role as a fiduciary for clients. We all understand what being a fiduciary means. Review the success system, recap, and then we will start the daily success system, which of course you want to do it daily. Wednesday, they'll review it, your daily success system. So what part of being a real estate agent excites you the most?
The money.
There is
Really?
zero question of why Paul is in real estate. Zero.
With a one in front of that.
So relationships for Autumn. Anybody else? Anybody want to be like on HGTV? Anything like that? Any HGTV goals? To learn how to flip a house in 30 minutes?
Is that possible?
Yeah, I want to be the guy that can just call a bank and say, hey, I'm buying this house. I want $1 million. Okay. Call the agent. Okay. I'm buying this house. Y'all see that flip guy? Was he in Los Angeles? See that married couple or whatever? It's crazy. And they'd flip a house and 30 minutes later they'd have it sold for like 1.5 million and they buy another house.
Are you talking about the like Tarts or?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Christina, but now he's divorced from.
Yeah, they're
Christina,
divorced, right.
They still work together.
Right. Yeah, that's the weird part. They got divorced but kept their business together.
You know, they have kids together too, so I guess they gotta
Right.
figure it out.
Anyway.
Yeah, there's not a lot of realism in that one either. I mean, she's like driving her convertible Bentley to job sites. It's a little bit different. But having a great career in real estate can be extremely rewarding. You know, being an agent gives you the opportunity to support someone in making one of their most important, let me add the word I typed in there, most important decisions of their life. Build relationships with others and living a big life. Behind the big results of a successful real estate career are daily activities and habits. The steps are small, but they all lead back to a big life. So let's talk a little bit about the day-to-day activities of a successful real estate agent, otherwise known as the 6 core competencies of a business, which come from Gary Keller in the book Shift. Does everybody have a Shift book? That's not the red one, that's the white one. We'll get you one. Okay, we'll get you one. We got them in the office, in the locked office. We'll get you one. I got a stack of them.
I don't know how to do it.
Mother God, didn't even know.
Yeah.
We'll get you one. We'll get everybody one. Remind the person at the front desk to get one, because Anna knows where they are, all that stuff. 6 core competencies of a business. 1 is to lead generate, capture, and convert to appointments. Number 2, present to buyers and sellers and get the agreement. Show buyers and market sellers. Show buyers, market sellers. Write and negotiate contracts. Coordinate the sale to closing. And then manage the money you just made.
So for me, the first one, the last one needs the most work.
The 2 most important.
One time.
The 2 most important. Yeah. So it's a welcome to your new job, your sales career. You're an independent business person, and it's important to understand the competencies of this job. Essentially, you are it. There's an appropriate saying, if it's meant to be, it's up to me. So you'll see the 6 core competencies in there. And we just read through them. So we'll build on each one of these as we go. Running a successful business involves engagement in all 6 of these. The first is your first priority. You know, after all, if you have no leads, you have no business. I don't care how great you are from contract to close. If you get nobody to contract, none of that matters. Do we agree with that? You will learn, and it will be repeated over and over, that your number 1 job is lead generating. It's a daily practice of talking to people about buying and selling real estate. Capturing is about obtaining accurate contact information. That is name, phone number, email, and home address. 4 pieces of information. And any other data that a person is willing to divulge. In your contact list and your database in Command, you can put everything down to their dog's name in there if you want to. You can keep tons of information on your clients. Capture also means adding new people to your database so you can converse with them and provide value. Another important component of lead generating and capture is that you ask for permission to stay in contact with each person. You'll learn more about the importance of this step as we explore lead generating later in Ignite. Finally, convert to appointment. Capturing the lead is wonderful. However, the ultimate goal is to find active buyers and sellers and set appointments to meet and agree to work with each other. Remember, we are learning and building on each other's new skill as we advance through the entire course of Ignite. This is why it's important to attend every session if possible and to complete the courses. So what questions do you have about the first core competency, about lead generate, capture, convert? Any questions at all?
What was, you said the 4 pieces of information that you need to get? Was there-
Name, email, phone number, physical address. Yeah. And you'll notice in Command, go ahead,
I
Sean.
was just gonna ask. I was trying to remember the MREA book mentioned something about a 12-2 ratio. So is that? I know there's 2 sides that you get for every 12 leads, but is that like? How is that defined? What's that lead defined as? It's not just a casual contact, but it's like someone that you built a relationship with. Is that?
Yeah, so there is and actually in your Ignite classes, we define the definition of a lead and a contact. They are different things. But a contact is really just essentially having their information. A lead is where you've garnered that permission to have a 2-way conversation.
Right.
Does that make sense? Yeah. So does that clear it up a little bit?
I was just trying to figure out what that definition of a lead was in that 12-2 ratio.
Mm-hmm.
But that's if we're going to figure that out later.
Yeah, that's into the.
Okay.
Yeah, it is. I don't want to steal any thunder from anybody else. Yep, looking at you. So it is your first priority. Is any other questions about it? Is anybody terrified to lead generate besides Haley?
Yeah.
I know you are. I know. What you are? Who was that? Was that Tanya?
It's Sarah.
Sarah,
There's-
you're Sarah?
Like
Go
there's a bit of an uncomfort zone that I hit.
Yeah, I understand a lot of people are not comfortable lead generating.
I struggle with it too. It's like, yeah, it's uncomfortable.
It is uncomfortable.
At the other realtor place,
Uh-huh.
we did Manic Monday, and you had to call all your contacts and get 100 contacts or connections. And we worked on it, and however long it took. And when you finished, whoever finished first got a present or something. But if you're doing it so fast,
Mhm.
everybody was doing it, together, and we were all doing it so fast that I didn't have time to be afraid, if that makes sense.
Yeah, but at that, I look at that more as being like in a call center than building relationships with people.
Well, I mean, that's what I thought too at first, but I realized that I probably developed more relationships that way than I did on my own. I mean, it was the same in college. I under pressure, I could get that paper done and I would do.
So let me ask you this then, why don't you
Okay.
call 100 people a day every day then?
But I don't have I'm not in the same room with a bunch of people. I feel like it's competitive that way. And
Yeah.
I guess I'm more competitive.
I got you.
I work under pressure and I'm very competitive.
Well, I can put you under pressure every morning. I'll call you at 7:30.
But it
I'm just
calls
telling
me
you.
if you're not there.
I don't have to be there. I'm gonna call you at 7:30 and say, we're gonna get on the phone. And I'm gonna call you back at 9:30 and we're gonna see who has the most contacts. Go. Anybody else want to get in that with me? I'll do it every day with you.
No.
Every day.
It's Legion,
Hmm.
and I think the hardest part is starting again. Once you get going, you kind of get in the groove of it, and you're like, oh, okay, and it's not that bad, but getting started, and then, because when you like call for some of my owners or expired listings or fraud listings, you have to do the research to find their phone number, and you have to make sure they're not currently listed or something like that. So it takes a while, and it's just one of those feelings of dread whenever you hear the word.
Yeah.
But once you get going, it's okay.
Yeah, and that's kind of the beauty of now, like, see, again, my mindset is call, door knock, is lead generate. That's just what comes to my brain first. But you've got texting, you got DM, you've got commenting on posts, you've got, there's emails. There's so many different ways to lead generate. So many different ways. Like I said, I went to pick up pizza at Mama D's and I got a lead. It's, you never know. Just always be ready, because if your mouth is open, your business is open.
So is it the lead generating part that concerns people, or is it the actual talking to the client?
Yeah, I don't think calling people's problem. I think it's when they answer it's the problem.
Hello? Yeah. I guess that's where I was going.
Or when you go door knocking, is if they're home. Yeah, I don't mind hanging something on their door when nobody's home, but what happens when they open the door? Yeah, if we only knew of a place we did script practice every day, that we could probably work on things like that. Yeah. Kind of crazy thought, isn't it? Okay, script practice Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, or Zoom every day. Every Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. She was the only one jumped on the other day, so what do we do? Buyer presentation, didn't we? We went through a buyer presentation.
That's great.
Yeah, script practice is important, even if you do it on the Zoom with us, if you do it at home with Jennifer, wherever you are, you can script practice in the mirror. Script practice. Get used to saying the things that somebody might ask you. Be prepared. That's all that is. If you're doing something like going door knocking one day, practice some scripts for door knocking, and then go door knocking. Be prepared. Just be prepared to give value. It's all our, but really you're just meeting people, you're making relationships, making new friends. You take away from lead generation and call it relationship building and relationship growing. That's all you're doing. Okay, number 2, present to buyers and sellers and get agreements. This core competency is about your skill during the appointment with the buyer and seller. Again, this is where scripts would come in handy. Presenting to buyers means going through the buyer consultation document, which outlines the entire buying process and all the steps you take to assist the buyer in the process. Everybody should have a buyer consultation form, whether it's digital or on paper. I would say probably both. That way you can do, just like I said, you can show them the entire process. Yeah, and step through, because you do it every day. They do it maybe twice in their life, maybe 3 times. Does that make sense?
There are templates in command, right?
There are templates in command. Yeah. The template in command is like 29 pages.
Yeah.
Trim it down to what is good for you.
12.
I mean, just think of yourself on those. I mean, what are you gonna do if you got a 29-page booklet from
I
somebody?
would not read it all.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's when I
Exactly.
first saw that, it was like, goodness, this is too much information.
Yeah, trim it down to what you want to do. Like I said, the one we went over with Bridget for the buying thing, it was literally just like a splash page to show some of your stats, show what you're going to give for them, and then have 1 page for each step of the process.
I think our buyer guide is like 7 or 8 pages.
Yeah, it's not very long. You do it for you. It's exactly what you should do. So then the expected outcome of a buying or a listing presentation is that your client, whether a buyer or seller, will sign an exclusive agreement to work with you. And we do need to get into the practice of the buyer loyalty agreement, just in case the DOJ wins. Show buyers and market sellers. What do these mean to you?
Well, for market sellers would be, having your comps prepared as far as, or being able to know how to do comps in order to, market it to the sellers.
Yeah.
On what their house is worth.
Yep. And then marketing their house after the fact, after you get that agreement.
I have a quick question. Is it better, I'm sorry, yes,
No.
but speaking of comps, is it better to do it on Paragon or the RPR?
Yes,
So the one.
I'm going to answer that question. Yes, or both. Yeah.
What's the
Sometimes you-
RPR? You can adjust it, the road is, what is it?
It's a National Association of Realtors.
Oh, it's there.
I'm not real familiar with it, but
See, comparative market
they,
analysis.
yeah,
I know, I mean, Barry, who's probably would be our best resource from how pricing your house, because he's a 28-year appraiser. You know, I think he uses Paragon mostly. He was just in his class. He mostly uses Paragon just because it's local information. Does that make sense?
right.
RPR does have a lot of great information, but he does Paragon first and tries to get it that way.
We had a class, but now I think they have where you can actually just like click on it and review what that class went over. But it was talking about how the MLS, I guess several people had lost it one day.
Mhm.
They got hacked or something. And they're saying they've got a way you can hook it up to RPR, connect those or something so you don't lose it.
Hmm.
It was very interesting. But I think that was last Wednesday. We need to go to it. Or
Yeah.
soon. But they've got really great information on there because I would hate to be in a situation where you're working with a client and then all of a sudden you can't get on the MLS.
Yeah, that would be bad. Yeah, that would be bad. Okay. So showing buyers is all about the understanding the needs of the buyer and selecting houses for them to experience with you. And as you will learn, they say what they need and want first, and you'll show them a couple of houses and you realize that their needs are not exactly what they told you. So you got to listen to needs and not want sometimes.
Well, just for an example, so I have some buyers that I'm working with and we're gonna go, show them a few houses, this evening. And they're going FHA. So some of the houses they were wanting to see that kind of meet their criteria won't qualify for FHA. So being able to show them and be able to get them to understand like why and what we need to look for in houses and
Yeah,
why they want
Which
us.
you'll agree that the most important piece of information you can get is that prequal.
Yeah.
Because that will lead you to what you can show them. Perfect. So write and negotiate contracts is the fourth one. This is a big responsibility and one that many new agents are concerned about and anxious about completing their first contract accurately. Negotiating is another competency that requires practice, calm, and the win-win mindset. Remember, win-win is one of our KW beliefs. Win-win or no deal. And it also goes back to customers are always first, right? Does that mean they're always right? No, usually they're not. But they're first in the fact that we're going to do what's best for the customer and the client. Does that make sense? That's how we put them first. Honesty, trust, what's best for them all the time. You'll learn that more when you're listing a house. I want to list it for 300,000. CMA shows it's 225,000. You got to be honest with them. Sometimes have those hard conversations. Who's scared to do a negotiation? Nobody? You're afraid to lead generate, but you're not scared to negotiate.
I don't mind the negotiating. I
Yeah.
love negotiating inspection periods, but like contract wise and item, but that's bother.
Doesn't bother you? That's good though. It's good. So the fifth one, coordinate the sale to close it.
Well, let's go back to negotiate the contract.
Okay.
Because so far I haven't had a problem with it, but what kind of problems can you run into? But that would scare
You
somebody.
can't really answer that question until something comes up because people are going to want this fixed or that fixed, or they're going to say, well, I want 5,000 at closing because the roof's not good, or there's a lot of things you're going to have to negotiate. And sometimes people are afraid, one, to call their sellers and go, hey, they're asking for this much money.
Yeah.
And have that conversation with them about should I or should I not? Does that make sense? And then some people as the buyer's agents are afraid to call the selling agents and go, we need this or we're not going to do it, because they have a hard time laying that line. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So people struggle not with the information of the conversation, but just having it. It's tough. but we can practice that. We can practice it. All right. So again, coordinate the sale to closing. This is the best part because that's where you get paid, right? Everybody's happy. People are getting new keys. People are getting checks. It's a beautiful day. It takes skill to do this though. And this is why it's one of your core competencies, because you do have to coordinate that sale to closing. But that's the day you get to take the pictures. And it's a fun day, right? It's probably the only day everybody's happy. The sellers are getting a check, buyers are getting keys,
Hopefully.
you're getting a check. Yeah, hopefully. Nobody.
I'll take care of it.
You sure?
Yeah, you can forward it.
So the sixth one is managing the money. You already learned from day one that the paycheck you get upon closing is not to be put in your pocket and spent. There will be expenses to pay and the ever-present taxes that must be saved for and paid every quarter. There's a great Keller Williams course for you called Profitability Agent Financials. Most likely it will be offered in the region, but there's also, you can find it online on YouTube and whatnot.
What's it called?
Profitability Agent Financials. There's another essential component to this job, and it's mindset. Your mindset each and every day. We talked about mindset a little bit earlier, and you've got the KW belief system along with the 6 personal perspectives to keep you strong. Who can remember any of the 6 personal perspectives we talked about an hour ago? What do you got, Elena?
Self-mastery.
Commit to self-mastery. It's good. What you got?
80-20.
80-20 principle. That's good.
E
Took
to
Paula's
P.
away. E to P. There's another one.
On a roll.
You are. Sesame seed too. Mhm.
Accountability. Is that not one? Be
Be
accountable.
accountable. Perfect. That's the 6th one.
And I ain't even.
You're
looking-
so close.
I ain't even looking at mine.
You're showing me 2. like,
Thank you, Autumn.
You're very welcome.
Yep, we said 4. What have we said so far?
Self-mastery.
Self-mastery.
Accountability.
E to P.
E to P. What else do we got?
E to P. E to P.
Yeah, entrepreneurial to purposeful.
Did you do that 80-20?
Did 80-20.
Self-mastery,
Did self-mastery.
foundation, is it gonna be?
Learning based.
Beliefs.
Limiting beliefs and learning based are the 2 we didn't get.
Learning based.
Yeah. Limiting beliefs and learning based. Yeah, so it's important to keep your mindset programmed to success and continue to believe in yourself. There may be days when you feel less accomplished and you'll need to pull yourself up and keep going. Maintain a mindset focused on being of service. Adopting a mindset and a philosophy of contributing to the lives of other people allows you to be direct and to the point in your interaction with others. With a focus on contributing and being of service, you'll communicate more effectively with customers and win their hearts and minds effortlessly. And I like to change motivation to discipline, because you don't motivate yourself to do work daily because there's days you wake up and you don't want to be here. It's the discipline that gets you to do the daily activities. Does that make sense? It's just the motivation that might make you happy about it. Yeah, lead generating. That's what you do every morning. I get to lead generate today. Not I have to lead generate today. You hear the difference? I get to lead generate. That's what you say, Sarah. I get to lead generate. Oh, click one more time. Whose turn is it?
To achieve your highest potential, these 6 core competencies must be done consistently and done well.
That is right. Very good. This is also from the shift book, which apparently nobody has. I need to get them to you. You do have shift? Okay. It's about the importance of these 6 competencies and reaching your highest potential. So any ahas from those 6 core competencies? They seem pretty common sense, right? But don't treat them as that. Be very purposeful about each of them because they're all very important.
The 80-20 principle.
Excuse me?
The 80-20. It's the 80-20 principle.
Yeah, she wasn't.
I'm so sorry. 80% of your time.
Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead.
20% of your action equals 80% of your result.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I think I did the closet one, didn't I? Yeah, like you wear 20% of your clothes 80% of the time. You wear 20% of your shoes 80% of the time. But not me. I'm a guy. I have like 4 pair of shoes. I've got like my tennis shoes, my brown shoes, my black shoes, and my lace-up dress shoes. And that's it.
I've seen you wear that shirt like 7 times this month.
This month, twice. You just like it a lot because I got the star.
You always just notice it. I did joke about your hair and the shirts.
Yeah, it matches my. Yeah, thanks, appreciate it.
We're doing football in Ireland right now, or
I'm Irish.
It's not green.
well, I mean, this
Yeah, it
color,
does
you
have
see
green
the-
on there.
It's Irish.
So I was like, oh, he's representing.
Yeah, I've got a United States one also, which is what you probably confuse it with. So any other ahas from the 6 core competencies? I think y'all want to know a big aha. What does AHA stand for?
They just helping agents.
Exactly right. Agents helping agents. That was my biggest aha from Bold, oddly. Agents helping agents.
Started golf. What country started golf?
Scotland.
That's my people.
Scotland. Yeah. Okay, now that we've introduced the 6 core competencies, you know the essentials of what your job in real estate agents entails. There are 2 ways you can serve your clients: functionary or as a fiduciary. So we learned earlier how important it is to maintain a mindset focused on being of service. Let's imagine doing business with a company, for example, like a car repair company that doesn't really care about your needs. They just focus on getting the job done and getting paid. They don't build a relationship with you or stay in touch during the job or after the job. Now let's imagine doing business with a different car repair company. This one listens to you, anticipates your needs, help you make decisions, educates you on the entire process, and acts like a partner in the process. Keeps you updated on the status of the work and even follows up with you after the job. What's the difference? The first company is acting as a functionary. The second is acting as a fiduciary. Your role as a respected and successful agent is to be a fiduciary. Does that make sense?
Surviving versus thriving.
Yeah. Yeah. You don't want to just get by, you want to excel. Here, the Millionaire Real Estate Agent explains a functionary is one who is in a specific task relationship with their clients. They do the job, while a fiduciary is one who not only does the task of the job, they also in a high trust relationship with the clients and feel total responsibility for the outcome. This is especially important in real estate where people are making their most expensive purchase. Stroking out right here. Oh. Good. Okay, good. Why would a prospective buyer or seller prefer to work with an agent who presents themselves as a fiduciary versus a functionary?
Comfortable. To me, I know that's something simple to say.
Not really simple. I don't think comfort is simple. No, I think that's very valid. Yeah.
As opposed to
Trust
just,
them.
I will not tell you how we're doing it or anything. We're gonna do it and we're gonna pay.
Right. Yeah.
And I feel comfortable with that person.
Right.
You know, if you've got some feeling or you feel like they're not gonna give you, you know, even 80%.
If I feel like a transaction to somebody, I'm probably not going to work with them. I mean, I'm that way. If I go to a sporting goods store to buy a golf club,
Mhm.
I don't want to walk in and hand them, I want to buy this driver. I want them to ask me why I want that one instead of that one. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I went to the bank the other day and the first person asked me, may I help you? And I told them why I was there and she said, oh, she can do it, and walked away. And then that one came up and said, may I help you? And I told her, she said, oh, no, she can do it. I turned around and walked out
Sounds like trying to call a customer service line.
Good service is really hard.
because it was the same one that had just told me. scheduled.
I think that's why people appreciate it nowadays so much, is because good service is hard to find. It's not what it used to be.
It's very hard to find.
But in my other business that I've been doing for 21 years, that is definitely the top of the list. Is if you provide customer service, good customer service, relational customer service, you will keep 95% of the clients without question.
Yeah, absolutely. The people want to be taken care of, and they will spend more money to be taken care of properly.
That's right.
And I relate to a friend of mine who runs Action Sports, where they do T-shirts and sporting goods and stuff. I have never once called him and ordered a T-shirt and asked him how much it was. Not one time. I've just called him because I know that they'll get it done when I want it to get done. They'll send me a logo, that show what it's supposed to look like. If I want to change something, I'll change something. I know that if it's wrong, they'll fix it and make it right. I'll just call him and say, I want 100 shirts. I want this logo on the front. I want this on the back. I've never once asked him how much it's going to cost per shirt. I don't know if I'm getting ripped off. No idea. But I know the job is done correctly, and I know they'll take care of me. So definitely be the fiduciary. Managing the money. This would probably be one of the more scary things to me because due to the complexity of the 6 core competencies, you will be responsible for explaining how to yourself, essentially, your money. Because right now, you're your own banker, right? You don't have an accountant, do you? Does everybody here have an accountant covering their money for them? So let's talk about how you can serve as a fiduciary for the 6 core competency of a business. Manage the money. Managing your money means being responsible about how to handle your finances. Would you trust someone with such a high dollar purchase if they can't manage their own finances? Very good question to ask it. In addition to giving you validity, managing your own money leads to financial security. Financial security provides you the freedom to be discerning about which real estate transactions you become involved in or not. There may be times you choose to decline a deal because it doesn't allow you to remain in high integrity with yourself or your client. I've heard many agents say, turn down, or fire clients or not go put a sign in the yard because, integrity's gone, trust is gone for whatever reason. There are reasons that you won't want to work with clients, just like there's reasons clients may not want to work with you. And it may not have anything to do with who you are or what. It's going to happen. But there's sometimes you don't want to deal with somebody that's going to be trouble down the road. Does that make sense? Sometimes you just got to, addition by subtraction. I think about when we were talking about the Y4C2Ts. That's kind of your guidepost for knowing how to serve as a fiduciary with your clients. That's fair, isn't it? Those Y4C2Ts. You just kind of follow those and think about those. You should stay on par with where you need to be. Like Mo Anderson said, one of the things that really hits me sometimes is that it really takes a coward to pick profit over culture. It's kind of hard sometimes, isn't it? So any ahas through those? Any at all? Are we going to work to manage money? Elena smirked. I didn't even look at you that time. She just smirked. So we understand the difference of functionary and fiduciary, and I hope we all are going to be fiduciaries. There's small ways that you'll learn as realtors that other realtors are not acting as a fiduciary by trying to find loopholes to keep their listings off the MLS so they can hope to get both sides themselves. Are they acting as a fiduciary for their clients or for themselves? Yeah. So, you'll hear that happen a lot. Because you understand, you got from first time you advertise, you got 24 hours, right? And it's business hours by the MLS. So if you do it Friday, you got till Monday. And you'll see a lot of people will go put that sign in the yard Monday or make their first post Friday to try to have that much time without putting in the MLS to try to get it themselves. And that's not being a very good fiduciary. They're not breaking any laws, but they're not being a fiduciary. Does that make sense? My advice is be a fiduciary for your clients. If you can get both sides, great. If you can sell it within the brokerage, great. But do it as being the best fiduciary for your clients. So now we're going to introduce you to the daily success system, which is part of your Ignite course. The success system gets you in the habit of lead generating while in the company of your fellow participants. Me, I, and others in the Market Center will support you every day and help you in any way you need. Who's turning it, Sean?
Nothing else about your business will have as big an impact on it as the number of leads you have.
Anybody disagree with that? Yeah, if you do, I'm just going to tell you you're wrong. How you get those leads are going to be different, you know, and it might take Autumn fewer leads to get a closing than it might Rachel. Everybody's got to learn. You've got to learn that about you to make your business predictable. Does that make sense? That's where the economic model comes in. It's because if you know how many contacts I need to make, however I make them daily or weekly to make this much money, you know that even though I'm in kind of a little bit of a rut right now, down the road, it's going to pick up. You know, because you don't want your business to ever look like this. Now, this feels a lot better than. And if you stop lead generating, because, oh my God, I got a lot of clients right now. I don't have time to lead generate. That's what's going to happen. Because what you do today is your next 60 to 90 days. Does that make sense? That's why you always want to make time to lead generate, no matter how busy you are. And however you want to do it. Like my favorite, and I've said it like the last 10 team meetings and nobody's done it yet, is make a post on Facebook that says, what's keeping you from buying your next home? You will get responses. Some of them are going to be stupid, but somebody's going to get on there and say, well, my credit score is not where I need it to be. You have an answer for that, don't you? Somebody's going to get on there and say, well, interest rates are too high. You have an answer for that, don't you? Because they're not really that high. They're right on par with the 30-year average.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Date the rate, right? Marry the house, date the rate. You can refinance. Right now, they're doing adjustable rates at next door that are 10 years for the same. You get 10 years before it starts adjusting. So that's 10 years that you've got a little better interest rate. There's a lot of things you can overcome, a lot of objections you can overcome. But if you do something like that, I would respond to those people fast because other realtors see your post too. You know, and anytime you make a post about real estate, when people like it or comment on it, reach out to them. Even if it's just, hey, thanks for commenting on my post. You know, you want to engage with those people. That is a form of lead generating. Just thank them. Hey, thanks. And that keeps you top of mind. That gets into mind share. And we'll talk about a little bit of that down the road. Whose turn is it next? I think it's Tanya's turn. You get to read this quote, Tanya.
I always lose my voice when I start talking. Accountable people achieve results others can only dream of. And that's from The One Thing.
Yes, it is. That is so true. And that's being accountable to yourself. I do advise always having an accountability partner. But to be an accountability partner, my gosh, I can't get that word out today. To the nose, out to the nose. Start thinking about that new driver I was talking about a second ago. Get excited. Devin spilled the beans that she's getting me a driver for Christmas. Kind of excited. All right, small things. Small things. But you have to be accountable to yourself. If you are somebody's accountability partner, you can't be that nice partner. Oh, it's okay. You didn't do it. You can't do that. If they say, well, I got 8 of my 15 contacts then you say, well, how are you going to get the 7, make up that 7 next week? You've got to be a stern accountability partner, but you have to be accountable to yourself first. But that is true. Accountable people always achieve more. Always. Now, this is where we're supposed to choose an accountability partner. I would advise you to do so. You can choose one in this room. You can choose one not in this room. But I would like for you all to have an accountability partner to check in with weekly or daily. However you want. And then you all decide what you're going to hold each other accountable to. Does that make sense? Because you may need to focus on lead gen, where she may need to focus on script practice, where she may need to focus on managing her money, and you want to hold them accountable to that. And remember, when you're doing that, that is not something for you to have conversations with other people about, because your accountability partner treat that kind of like your client patient confidentiality thing. You know, we don't talk about other people's stuff, because if you get that level of trust, you're going to start talking about things that are very personal, important to you, and that's not for everybody else. So, but I would advise you all to find an accountability partner, whoever you want it to be. All right, so we kind of showed you this a little bit ago. Let's see, so we provided you with the success system tracker in your participant guide as another method of accountability. We will be using this through the entire course. Today, we're going to focus on the first 3 activities. We'll discuss the other activities in upcoming sessions, but remember, completing these activities is important because they will help build and nurture relationships with others. So the first 3, and this is a daily thing, it's 10 conversations. What is a conversation?
Talk about a particular topic.
Yeah, the conversations back and forth, because I can go, yeah, well, I would show you, well, I would say, like, Rachel, how's your day?
Great.
Okay, conversation's over. You shut it down.
Not with us talk to people. We just.
Yeah,
go.
but I'm just
Right,
saying,
make it a conversation.
yeah, but see, she
Make it
just shut it down. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
She didn't say, great, how are you?
Well, I could make a 2-hour conversation out of it.
Yeah,
Well,
like that too.
yeah.
But you want to have 10 conversations about real estate,
Conversations
about real estate. Yes. You want to add those 10 people to your database. Now that conversation could be a text message, a direct message on social media. It could be social media posts going back and forth. Elena's having one right now.
So during that conversation about real estate, you're probably gonna pick up the things that we need about context to put them in our context.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, one, if you're having a conversation, yeah. And don't be afraid to ask, but don't ask somebody, hey, Sean, can I have your home address, email address, and your phone number?
No, it fall into the.
Right,
No.
have a great day.
Yeah. No, you'll be talking. And if I'm having a conversation just like now, if I'm talking to Sean and I'm going to say, hey, do you mind if I get your email address to put you in the phone numbers? I send out like market updates from time to time. You know, would you be interested in finding out what your neighborhood markets are like? And he may say, that's fine, you know. And then down the road, I might say, hey, I got your email address. Do you mind if I get your phone number? I'm not going to spam text you. I just like to update my database. And then down the road a little bit later, you say, hey, I'm going to send out some mailers with a chance to win some kind of prizes. Do you mind if I get your home address so I can send you a mailer? They're going to say no, but
Or they're
you got to
gonna
ask.
say something like, don't mail me all the time. That's
Right.
One contact.
Right, exactly right. But you don't want to make it like, don't make it personal. Reason why, not I just need your information. Does that make sense? And again, that's the same thing through text message, through direct message, whole 9 yards. Add those contacts to your database. Get them in your database quickly, fastly. Use them. Fastly a word?
No.
It is now. It is. Colin Webster today. The 10 handwritten notes. Who's terrified of writing handwritten notes?
But raise your hand, girl.
I'm not. I love it. After midnight last year, I wrote handwritten notes to everybody. I was
Yeah.
like, thank you for grooming my dog today. Thank you for taking care of my dog at the vet. Thank you for this.
So
And
what,
like I've
note?
gotten so many.
Thank you, note.
We have templates.
Any handwritten note?
Yeah. Well, I meant like outside of that. And like I've had people say, I can't tell you the last time we got a written thank you for our services. Like that meant so much to us. So like
Mhm.
it's the little things. And it doesn't have to be like realtor or anything.
No.
You know what I mean? It can just be
So you know what I even like about that is take of those 10 handwritten notes, Make 3 of them a note of gratitude to somebody. Anybody. Every day. Tell they keep,
Yes, you did.
I was
That's
gonna
what
say,
I-
I think I did.
yeah, even if it's, you know, hey, and Robbie, thanks for cooking supper last night.
I did write Robbie a note one day. He didn't cook supper, but.
I'm just,
Robbie-
it's an example. I didn't think he did, but you know what I mean? So if he did, it should be like a presentation.
Right.
But you get the point. The handwritten notes don't have to be, like you said, real estate related. Just thank you for something. Even if write a birthday card and handwrite it for birthday, just anything. People appreciate that because they know that you put time and effort that most people aren't going to in them. So it's a really good thing.
And you're saying that it doesn't really need to be real estate based.
Nope. That is correct.
You're just being awesome.
Right. I love that. You're just being awesome. Makes me think of that Lego movie song.
Everything is awesome.
There you go. That's exactly right. Whose turn is it? Sarah. Sarah's turn. Are you still with us, Sarah?
It doesn't look like she's on here. Her name is gone, so.
Okay. All right. Then it's my turn. If you can't measure it, you can't improve it. This one is from Peter Drucker, Australian American management consultant, educator, and author. If you cannot measure it, you cannot improve it. The success system may seem like a tall mountain to climb, and it can be achieved by measuring and improving every day. Top agents measure their important numbers so they can improve. Start measuring now and condition yourself to this habit. And that's numbers like you may not reach your 10, but you may reach your 8. Another great book called The 12-Week Year will teach you if you do 85% of your weekly goals, you're going to improve dramatically.
Who wrote that?
12-Week Year. I don't know who wrote the book off the top of my head. It's an amazing book. And it's not a big one too, so that's why I liked it. It's a lot of pictures, diagrams, things like that. Makes me happy. So we've talked about this. The Ford, the Ford method for speaking to people. The first activity on the daily success tracker is to engage in 10 conversations with people that know you. You may wonder what you should say in those conversations. Yesterday we introduced the Ford method to you. Actually, yesterday it says here early this morning. The Ford method is an approachable way to start a conversation with someone in your sphere. So what does the Ford method stand for? It's right there in front of you. There you go. Great job.
So really, it's like, how's your family? How's work going?
Mhm.
What'd you do this weekend? That kind of thing.
Yep, exactly right. That's simple. That's exactly simple. It puts the focus on the other person. What do people love to talk about?
So,
Yes, people love to talk about themselves. And when they're in a conversation with you and you make it about them, they love you even more. Yeah. I very well stopped fishing when I was 16. I don't even know why. No, I was pretty good. We were pretty good. Really? Oh,
The big
It's-
scale.
he has no trouble catching fish then, does he? Just drive your boat. So besides the Ford method, you can always share gratitude and appreciation with people you know. They will always appreciate that. There are some best practices, like the Ford method is not an interview or an interrogation. It's just a conversation. When we've kind of discussed that. When you use Ford, your role is to ask a question and then listen carefully without interruption. That's the hard part. We don't want to interrupt when they're talking to us. And we struggle with that. All of us do. I've talked to all of you. I know it's true. And that's okay. It's part of us. It's part of human nature, really. Because we hear something that we want to respond to and we get excited. It's part of it. But we do want to listen intently. That's another thing my genius grandmother told me is God gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. Should listen as twice as much as you talk. Asking more questions is especially important, and they must be appropriate questions. Pointing at Elena because she's looking at her phone. For example, when a person answers an occupation question with, well, I got laid off and I'm on unemployment. Probably don't want to continue that conversation, do we? We want to pivot. It's pivot. You wouldn't jump right into a reaction, or excuse me, a recreation question after learning that they're unemployed. How's that trip to Disney? You wouldn't want to do, you wouldn't want to do that. Yeah. Instead, you want to ask like appropriate questions like, well, how can I help? I can ask around and find who's hiring for you. You know, continue the conversation coming from contribution. Always willing to help. Likewise, if a response to an occupation question is, I just started a new job, you wouldn't respond back. Yeah. So what do you like doing for fun on the weekends? You would ask, how's that working out for you? Because if they just started the job, they're probably still, not having a ton of money on the weekends. But it's just a simple conversation. And like Sean pointed out, it's a good conversation starter. And it'll get it rolling. Nah, that's want us to do role play. We've done it enough.
I did have a question about, I noticed in command of contacts, you have notes for each of the contacts. So is this a good place to put information about that particular client? Oh, they have a kid just graduated from, high school. Yeah,
Because like they love when you're like, oh, how's your kid? They're 2 now.
right.
Or,
Right.
we put notes on the side of ours.
Yeah.
Is that the best practice, using notes?
Well,
in
and,
command?
and we also use our notes for, like how they got to us or what they're looking for, that
Yes,
kind of thing.
yes, okay,
Kind of like a getting to know you. That's where we put our notes.
okay.
That's what we put in our notes. Sorry. It's almost, like anything
probably
that
the
can help
easiest.
us remember who they are.
It's probably easiest practice to put it in there. I mean, some people put it on pay piece of paper,
Yeah.
but I mean, you might like lose track of that.
Right. Well, if you're calling, 10 people a day or having a conversation with them, that's kind of hard to keep up with
Right.
what everybody has going on in their lives.
Yeah.
So I didn't know if notes was the best place for that.
Yes, it is.
Okay. All right.
And you can also go down. I mean, I'm sure you've looked, but I'm just saying it out loud that you can dig deep. You can even put their Facebook profiles on there, their LinkedIn profiles on there. You can put spouse, kids, dog's name, birthdays, anniversaries, home anniversaries, tons of information you can get put on there on each person. And the more information you put, the better it is for you going forward. Just like Haley said, people love it when they're calling them and you go, hey, how's the wife? And knowing her name is a lot better than saying, how's the wife?
But if you don't remember, you didn't write it in.
Yeah.
That's the
Next
fallback.
best thing. But
Yeah. Yeah.
You don't
Like,
want to do that too
personalized.
often because if you say how's the wife, he may come back and say her name and then you got it.
Yeah. Or
Just
say,
second chance every
Yeah.
once in a while.
yeah, exactly right. You just don't want to hear, well, we got divorced.
Right.
We've heard that several times.
Yeah.
right, so did she kick you out? You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's our activity. It sounds like somebody needs a house in this conversation. Yeah. So the second activity on the success tracker is to add 10 contacts to your command database daily. Contacts are people who have agreed to be in a two-way relationship with you. You will start with people in your sphere, those who know you and trust you already. And don't have to live in the mindset that they can't be out of state. Because if you got friends in Illinois, you can refer them a realtor.
That's what I mean right now, all my family, I know they're out of state, but.
Yeah. Does everybody,
That's what's gonna be my question, because there's a camp in Dover, Tennessee that I volunteer. And so I love, like, I know they all live in Tennessee.
Mhm.
I don't know if I can.
you can't, well, I mean, you
You know,
can,
because
you
they
can,
don't live in Tennessee, but like if you're coming,
you can like face to face talk to them and tell them that you can't advertise that you could sell them property in Tennessee.
Right.
Yeah. Now you could probably email them and tell them that, hey, I can find you a realtor in Tennessee. Does that make sense?
Yeah, okay.
Because actually in Dover, we have 2 or 3 realtors that work that territory in our office. So that would be good. And that's what I tell them. I can refer you somebody.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. But the legalities of like public is you're licensed in Kentucky,
Oh.
not in Tennessee.
That's why I didn't even know it.
Yeah.
Sure, because they may one day move to Kentucky or.
Right.
Like I said,
Right.
when they move, yeah, I'll find you a realtor. But you do want to put people you talk to in your database. That is hugely important. Everybody you know, at least the name and one other piece of information should be in your database. Because if you don't have it all, that's a reason to call them. Update my database. Can I have your cell phone number? Update my database. Can I have your email address? Reasons to reach out to people. So any ahas about the success system at all? Is anybody terrified about the success system at all? No? Perfect.
Already had my conversation sitting here, Beth.
Right?
Apparently so. So it's wonder you're getting sprained a thumb over there. I get it. I'm just picking. Trust me, I pick. If you don't know that, if you haven't learned that yet, I enjoy picking at people. And those. Yeah, so yeah. All right, so to let you know that this one was kind of quick, we've already come to the end of this lesson. So the success system will be talked about Wednesday. It'll be one of the first things talked about Wednesday. So we'll try to do that today and tomorrow. And then Wednesday, you'll talk about it and see what we've done. Any questions or concerns around the success system at all?
So we come back in Wednesday, we need to work on the
10 contacts, 10 conversations, 10 contacts and database, and the 10 handwritten notes. And find an accountability partner. And find an accountability partner. I need the flamingo, man, to bring it up here.
We need lots of windows.
We do. And what I want you to do is, as you do your success system, because it's not just once, it's today and tomorrow, so you'll have 2 days to talk about on Wednesday. Write down how you feel like that you've grown by trying to do these. Does that make sense? However you've done it, if you try a new way to lead generate because you've always done A and now I'm trying B, whatever it is, just kind of make notes. It's awesome to keep a daily journal. And another thing that'll make you feel good is in that daily journal, if you write like 3 to 5 things that you're grateful for every single day, your mindset starts to shift. It's a wonderful thing. As you think about it, like the first days, I might say, I'm grateful for my wife, Devin. I'm grateful for my son, Benjamin. But then you're going to get down to focus and you're going to dig down deeper things, small things that you're grateful for. You know, I was grateful for the rain shower that we got this weekend because it was 9,752 degrees for like 10, 12 days straight. And we got rain and it went down to the point it was 80, but you felt like you needed a jacket. Is that weird? So try to write some things down. If you have ahas during it, if you're reaching out to people and you feel like you get stuck at a point, write down that so we can talk about that too. If you have any questions, call me. If you want to work, if you want me to find you a script for doing whatever form of lead gen you're doing, call me. We'll find something. The Ignite book does have some scripts in there also. That's what you brought today, wasn't it, right? Did you bring the scripts?
Yes.
Okay. Rachel was prepared.
I don't.
Did you get this?
They're in the participants guide. If you downloaded the participants guide.
I guess that's what I
Well, I
did.
thought that's what I did.
No, mine's completely different.
Well, mine's not in color, but that's what, how it started.
Right, I don't have that. I have something completely different.
Yeah, but
Where I got
just
Right, that's right.
did you download all 355 pages? Then you got it. It's in there. Okay, so the fun parts I'm going to ask. So, has your thinking changed any at all through what we've talked about today? Okay, there's follow up. So, are you going to make me do the follow up, or are we going to wait? Yeah. Is that what it is I'm supposed to?
Yeah, that's how I always thought.
Okay, how has your thinking changed today?
Well, all of this I've done before, and I've done it in the order you're supposed to do it in, or what I call the order you're supposed to do it in. Like the best time to call contacts is between 8 and 10.
Actually,
More
6 and
so.
10.
Well, more so than 11 and 12 because they're at lunch and they're going to answer your phone because they're talking to their people. So
And I will interrupt there because I'll say statistically it does still stay 6 to 10,
Uh-huh.
but that is shifting because everybody has cell phones. Because those numbers come from historical data also, and that's when people go to work at 9 o'clock till 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock, and then they're home in the evening. So that's why they want you to call early in the morning to catch them before they get settled into work. But now everybody's got cell phones. What?
Let me tell you, if somebody calls me between 6 and 8 in the morning, I'm not answering.
I'm going to call them a realtor because my phone starts ringing at about 6:15, 6:30, just about every morning.
I ain't even up then.
Want to get you that guy's 4:30 schedule.
Oh,
Tanya, has your thinking changed any from today?
I can never find I'm so sorry. I'm a writer, so I'm writing so much and then I can never find my mute and all that stuff. Yeah, I think it's made me feel better about the whole fact that a lot of mine is texting, and I was doing some contacts last week and I made like 5 or 6, and 4 of them naturally went to real estate. So knowing that my conversations can be other besides calling people makes me feel better. And the fact that I like numbers, and the fact that I have numbers to shoot for, that helps too.
Okay, that's perfect. Thank you. Anybody else? What do you feel differently about? Or was there something meaningful for you today? I mean, they're up here, so you have to compare yourself to them.
I think that I need to fire myself a couple times from a couple of different positions and reevaluate that.
Need to go through a stricter hiring process.
Yes. For sure.
Anybody else? Anything meaningful for you today at all? Other than my Irish shirt?
Well, I mean, for me, it was like, it's okay for me to do what I do well.
Mhm. We got it.
You
We
know
got
what I
it.
mean?
Yeah, we got it.
Yes,
We got it.
okay. That I can focus on what I do well instead of trying to incorporate things that I'm not good at or take a lot of my time. Just be me and do what I do. What I can do, what I'm good at.
Yeah, perfect. Anybody else? So how your behaviors be different going forward? What different actions you might take?
I'd really forgotten about social media, so it's like I desperately need to go make a Facebook and start playing. So that would be easy.
It is, and it's free.
Right, but it's like why I didn't, because I'm not used to that,
Mhm.
and it was like, duh, absolutely that would be important.
Yeah.
The worst part is you can only have so many people, invite so many people to that page at a time, and then you have to go back.
So what tools, models, or systems will you use? We get anything there?
I'm blocking.
I'm blocking huge. I mean, it's for yourself. That's huge.
And I like the 10-a-day rule, like the 10 conversations, the 10 notes, it's the very achievable,
Yeah.
like just sit down and do it.
right.
Mhm.
Like we're done.
Gotta
Friday
leave.
tomorrow.
What's that?
I believe
All right, good. That's
that
awesome.
I took that call.
So again, the success system is this. We're going to focus on the first 3, 10 conversations, 10 contacts, and 10 handwritten notes. And that can be, you can stick them in the mail, you can walk them and hand them to people, however you do that for those. That is fine. And make those 10 conversations with your sphere. That makes it a little bit easier. You want to try to get name, address, phone, any of those contacts you can, but at least get name and one piece of contact information. Now, if you do yours going door knocking and you don't get their addresses, we're gonna have a big talk. You ever go door knocking and do not write down people's addresses? That's the easy one right there. Devin called me one time in front of somebody's house. What's the address? I just had a long pause. Elena knows the look I was giving my phone. Then she goes, "Oh," and then maybe said a swear word to it herself. Yep, utilizing the 10-5-1 model for social media engagement will be covered Wednesday. The other enrichment offered at the end of each session is in your participants guide, and that'll be covered on Wednesday. Remember what you're calling people. Follow the TCPA rules. If their phone number is public, these rules do not exist. Like if somebody's on their got their phone number on Facebook, some people put their number on Facebook. You don't have to follow these rules because they made their phone number public. Does that make sense?
Find out if they're on the list or not. My biggest question.
I was gonna say, there's a website that you can look at. I don't know what it
I think NAR has it.
There says subscribe to the registry.
Yeah, you can
Yeah.
subscribe to the registry.
The DNC registry. Do not call.
Mhm. I remember when I spent my couple of years with ADT, we had to call into a phone number first that like logged us in and then start dialing. And it let us know if they were on the do not call list.
So now that's funny that you say if your telephone number is public. Because Amy's always saying, do not call me. I'm on the do not call list.
Yeah. If your number's public, like advertised publicly, you're not on the do not call list.
Every single post we ever make.
Yeah.
Yeah, yard signs. If you stick your sign in your front yard for a yard sale and then you call and you're not on the do not call list. They do emphasize this all the time. Truthfully, probably 90% of the people don't care. They're gonna call person on the other end will say, I'm on the do not call list. And you say, I'm sorry to bother you. I'll take you off my list. Just like if you do a mass email from command, people can unsubscribe. Command will note that forever and they will never let you.
That's what I did. I just emailed everybody first
Mhm.
and command came back with, you know, we don't want to be contacted. I don't make them a message, but they took them out.
But I will tell you too, and I even do this when I send my mass emails to all the realtors in MLS. If somebody unsubscribes for me,
Yeah.
I'm gonna call them. Hey, did you do it on purpose? Just checking. You know, I want to make sure you're still getting the information. Call them.
Yeah.
Make them tell you. And it could have been that they didn't know. You know, they could have been reading an email and accidentally clicked at the bottom where it says unsubscribe. I've done it before. I mean, they may tell you, no, I didn't mean unsubscribe, and you go in there and click them off.
That's my dentist when they're sending me stuff. I thought they were an eye doctor. I don't see anymore. And then I wasn't getting information about my appointments and stuff. And I figured out how to fix that.
Okay, so I'm gonna say this last one. This is it says begin by getting our mindset primed for success. We do this. This is an affirmation. So this is something that you would say to yourself, is that I engage every conversation in the spirit of contribution, and people are happy to be in a relationship with me because I'm good enough, I'm smart enough, and doggone it, people like me. Sean remembers that one. That's what
I do.
Yeah, Saturday Night Live. Was that Stuart Smalley? Yes, it was. Those were really fun. Daily affirmations, Stuart Smalley. But that is true. You should. I mean, it's goofy, and it's as much fun as I make fun of affirmations. They help because when you read and say things out loud, it makes them real. And if you do it all the time, you believe what you hear, right? Why would you tell yourself that it's not going to work? Can't do it. You can do it. It's fine. Everybody can do it. I know all of you. Every one of you in here are easy to talk to and are great conversationalists. There's no reason why you couldn't succeed at reaching out to people. And you're reaching out to your sphere. These aren't people that don't know you. Reach out to people that know you. And like I said, if they're not in this state, call them anyway. We all got neighbors, don't we? You'd have me a grill howdy conversation. That may be a question I'll lead with. I don't know. But opens the door, right? But you want to practice even introducing yourself. But, you know, it's important that you do that properly. It's shown in the participants guide. You'll say like, hey, you know, my name is Ben with Keller Williams Experience Realty. Practice it. Because you'll forget it. This is the part that we don't do in person for time. Is there are scripts in there that we're going to go over. This one is, so you have that book right in front of you. Locate the new to real estate conversation starter on page 4. Excuse me, C4.
Oh, okay. I see have the
See.
complete one.
Yeah, it's the
Let's see.
new to real estate conversation starter on page C4. And that's in your script practice portion. Yeah, that'll be the one that we do next.
Yeah. See, my sister has a 2020.
You even brought an old one?
Yeah.
So anytime you're doing lead gen, it's good to start that way. It's good to prepare. You want to practice what you're going to say. You want to prepare a list of people to call. We would typically real play where we would actually sit in this room and make phone calls. We're not going to do that. Update your database. Follow up with people if necessary. Paula got a lead. Let's all celebrate Paula getting a lead while we're sitting. Yeah, that's how you celebrate success right there. So good job. There you go. See, use. So preparing for the next session. So any ahas out of that brief little session? I know that one was kind of quick. Nothing other than we're glad to be done and go home and get the food.
Yes.
Yes.
We don't get to go home though.
No, you get to.
Well, no, I don't.
No. Any questions about any of that at all? So Amy will be here Wednesday to teach the next 2 sessions. And we'll make sure that she has everything set up too. Tanya, the Zoom link will be set up and everything for Wednesday as well. But
Thanks, man.
you're welcome. Thank you guys for coming. I hope you all come Wednesday also. So
Well,
thank you.
we're still in the prize for every session. Let's just be clear.
Yeah, if you make every session, there's gonna
Do
be
you
a
need a
different drawing.
sign?
I know who's here. She was here. Nope, she was here. Thanks, Tanya. I appreciate it. Yep, I'll be here.
Okay, thank you.
Good.